Because Crosscut is coming to town. That's right. I'm your co-host, Josh.
And I'm your other co-host, Chris.
So today we're taking a look at the 2022 film Violent Night, starring David Harbour, who plays the classic character called Santa Claus. But he's not your typical
Right.
Santa Claus. He's not your Tim Allen Santa Claus. He's a kind of a different Santa Claus because he might kill you, but not if you're
Maybe.
not if you're nice, only if you're
Only,
naughty, and if
only
you're a
if you're
mercenary. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Violent Night. This movie came out last year around Christmas time. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I kind of knew what I was going into with it. I was just like, all right, this movie is going to be kind of stupid fun. Turn your brain
Yeah.
off, and it was pretty much just that. David Harbour's great. He to think that it took that this guy's been around for a long time. To think that it took till Stranger Things for him to become a mainstream noticeable actor is kind of sad because I mean, I've seen him in stuff before Stranger Things, and he's just
Mhm.
I don't know, he's just a great actor. So, and it kind of shows in this. He's kind of the brute, physical Santa
Right.
Claus. And what's interesting about this movie, it kind of goes into like the history of, I guess, his Santa Claus. Like you see like his kind of a backstory and things
You
like
see a
that.
little bit, yeah. You see a
Yeah,
little bit of his backstory. I like the fact that I had a feeling there was gonna be more Nordic anyway, just because of he's the big guy, rough. Eh,
hmm
Nordic, 1,000 years old. Santa Claus makes sense.
and it's interesting because the director is actually from Norway, so I'm not sure if he was hired
Ah,
because of that. He actually he's a pretty good horror director. His name's Tommy Wirkola. I'm not sure if you ever saw. I think it was the Hansel and Gretel movie that Jeremy Renner was in. He did that,
yeah.
and then he's I'd never seen these movies, but they're called Dead Snow. They're like zombie movies that I think are set in Norway. So he's got like a pretty good reputation for horror. But it makes sense if he's from
Yeah.
Norway, so he probably knows the lore and everything like that.
I think it's funny because I think I have the movie Dead Snow.
Oh yeah, if you haven't watched it, you should check it out. I think that was the movie that got him. It was either that or no, maybe it was Dead Snow. But yeah. So, anyways,
Mm.
back to Violent Night. The first part of that movie or the first part of that title holds up. This movie is very violent. There's some good
Oh,
killing going on, which is
I
great.
love the killings. I love the
Gotta
killings.
gotta love the killings. And that's what you're going in. This movie is basically the Santa Claus meets Die Hard. I think that's probably how they pitched it.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
They said,
Mhm.
"Hey,
Yeah,
this movie about Santa Claus, but it's Die Hard because it's kind of have that similar setup where it's like kind of hostages and he's kind of running
it is.
around just
It is.
like killing people." And they were
Mm-hmm.
like, "You know what? I'm in. Let's do it." And here we are. And it's a great play on words too. Violent Night, Silent Night. It all makes sense. Which
Oh,
is
oh
funny
yeah, like
because I'm not. Did you know that there's a movie coming out this weekend called Silent Night, which
yep.
is kind of a similar story? It's a
Except he's not
guy,
Santa Claus.
but he dresses as Santa Claus, but he's a killer.
Yeah, well,
So
he's getting his
he's not
revenge.
actually Santa Claus, but he dresses as Santa Claus going around killing people. And I might go check it out. It's a John Woo movie who, if you know, he did
Mhm.
Face Off.
Yeah.
So but anyways, Violent Night, Silent Night. Yeah, I hope you're watching this review for the right movie. But if you're here for David Harbour, you're in the right spot.
All around, it's a fun, entertaining movie because it's got the gore, it's got the funniness of it. Just David Harbour just trying to not kill someone and then it kills them accidentally. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and just the funny way they get killed, like speared through a fake icicle or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like the first kill and like the star in the guy's eye and getting
Mm-hmm.
electrocuted. But it was just funny. I laughed every time he was trying to not kill someone, then kill someone.
Yeah.
And then when
Yeah.
he finally gets the ball rolling, okay, I'm doing this for the kid.
Mm-hmm.
The sledgehammer.
Oh, was it the shed scene where he's just like
Yeah.
taking all these guys
Oh
out?
my God. That was perfect. I
Yeah.
love that scene. That was I loved how choreographed that thing was. And I also like the character of Trudy, even though she was like very innocent like, but she did that Home Alone traps. That was a good nod to the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. This also has some Home Alone for sure.
Mhm.
I guess
It
you
just
have to
it's
make
like
the
It's like you would put Home Alone, but more violent.
Yeah, I'm sure that was like I'm sure that was part of the pitch. They said, "Oh, by the way, we're going to splash some Home Alone in there." But imagine
Mhm.
Home Alone rated R, where Marv and Harry actually like get decapitated, or like things like that happen. And I'm sure the exec was like, "Sold, let's do it. I love it."
Yep. Yep.
This movie actually did pretty well at the box office. I was about to say, I think
Mhm.
this movie's going to become a cult classic, especially anytime
I
you
can
make a
see it.
movie set around holidays. Those always start to trend towards the holidays
Mhm.
again. I think this movie will become a cult classic. I actually saw somebody dressed in cosplay as him at the Spooky Empire last month, and people were like coming up to him. And just, he had a really, I should have taken a picture. He had a really
Nice.
good cosplay, the candy cane in the mouth and everything. And he was big, like David Harbour, and people were going up to him. I was just kind of sitting there watching, and people were going up to him and asking to take pictures and stuff like that. And it was cool because, like, I don't think I'd seen anybody else dressed as him. But yeah, I think this movie is going to become a cult classic. I wouldn't be surprised. This movie only had a $20 million budget and made 76 worldwide. I could see them making another one, honestly.
I don't think it's necessary to have another one
Chris,
because
almost every sequel ever made has had that statement about the original. So take that for what you will.
true, but
Name any
like
sequel. Name a sequel on the top of your head right now.
Christmas Chronicles.
Is it that's a sequel?
It has two movies.
Is it necessary? Is the sequel necessary?
No.
No, exactly. Boom. Point made. Moving on.
Okay, okay, okay.
Why do you
But
make sequels? Because we want to make money. But sequels
true.
also, I love sequels. I'm just going to be frank and upfront. I love sequels because you can always expand on stuff. And yes, eventually they can get dated, or if they're just not made well, then so
Yeah,
be it.
and a
Because
lot of the times they just fail with the story because like uh they just added stuff just to make the movie longer and does make sense with the original storyline. I was like,
but anyways,
eh.
I'm all for it. Violent Night 2, A Bloody Christmas, set in England or some shit like that. Let's make it happen.
Hmm.
Come on,
England.
Universal.
Oh yeah, man. I liked it. I really did. Even the who's the person who plays the grandmother? I keep forgetting her name.
Beverly D'Angelo, which she's from she's in all the vacation movies with Chevy Chase. She plays the mom in those.
Ah, okay.
So a little bit of
Okay.
a Christmas tie, I guess, because
Yeah.
I mean I like the vacation movies, but the one that I always go back to is Christmas Vacation. So
Well, I like the characters, even though they were simple, but they were funny, annoying, especially the Bertrude,
oh wait.
the kid.
Oh yeah.
He was
Well
annoying, but
well you're not talking about the guy that was the actor, right?
no, the kid that was always live streaming.
Oh right. That's right. Because he had like the same name as his grandma. Okay, yeah.
Right. I was like, no, it's not a real name.
It's a
Bertrude.
I know, but I guess that's just modern day portrayal of teenagers as well. They always got to have a phone in their hands,
True.
just so
That's
that
why I kind of
14-year-old
like.
in the theater can go, "That's like me."
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
the uh, I thought the guy that played the actor, he was funny, but he was also kind of annoying. So I was kind of glad when he had his death scene
He was annoying, but
because
he
he betrays
didn't.
them, or
You're
he
right.
tries to betray them. So
Right.
he had it coming.
Yeah, he did, but also like he was annoying, but he just blended into the background. So I was like, all
I did
right.
think he was kind of funny with his trying to be like his acting skills, but uh I wanted to talk about John Leguizamo for a bit as the villain.
He did a good job.
I so straight up I love John Leguizamo ever since I was a kid watching him in movies from like the 90s like Mario Brothers, Spawn. But he's a good
Oh,
actor because
uh,
he
what was the one with Wesley Snipes and Patrick Swayze?
from the 90s.
I think they were 90s, not the
Oh,
early
of course
2000s.
he's from Ice Age as well.
Oh,
You ever seen
yeah.
the movie Chef with John Favreau? He's the chef and he starts. That's a great movie. And I was gonna say about John Leguizamo, he's great because he can play a good, lovable character, but then he's like a movie like this, he's like, you still love him, but he's a dick. So, anyways,
I like how everything was very Christmassy, like even the code names, like Mr. Scrooge, Gingerbread, Tinsel. It it really did give off the Die Hard feel to it, to the bone. You
well, it
know,
is the greatest Christmas movie ever made, Chris. So
it is. It
I'm not talking about
is.
Violent Night. I'm talking about Die Hard.
I know what you meant. Die
Are you
Hard. Die
sure?
Hard is the Christmas movie.
It's the only Christmas movie.
I enjoy it. I laughed a lot.
But you know why this movie probably will work is because when you think about it, when you think about action Christmas movies, there are a ton of
Oh
bad
yeah.
ones. But if you can make another solid one like this is, that's going to
Mhm.
become, because when it comes to Christmas time, people are going to want to watch the Christmas classics, and of course, there's the true classics, Home Alone, Miracle
White
on 34th
Christmas.
Street, White Christmas,
Yeah.
Christmas Story, but those are all, for the most part, family
They're the
movies.
hallmark
Or,
of Christmas.
but if you're watching Die Hard and you're like, ooh, I'm just in that, like, late at night, kids are at bed, I want to see some of that. Violent Night will probably be like the batter up in this category for, well, Die Hard 2, probably, Die Hard 2 still set around Christmas time, so that would probably be like the
Sure,
next
it
one up.
is.
Die Hard 3 is not. I think that's like
No,
summer.
it
And
stopped
then,
at the second one.
so yeah, if you're watching Die Hard and around Christmas and you're like, ooh, all right, I want to keep this, I'm in the mood, I think Die Hard 2 would be next. And then you might be like, you know what? Violent Night, let's throw that one on. So I think this is this
And
movie's gonna stick around for a while because of this holiday theme and because it's kind of a niche holiday movie for sure with David
well,
Harbour.
remember you can knock out Krampus violent and at Christmas.
I forget about Krampus. I really like Krampus, but that's PG-13, so that's not that violent.
It still has the violent in it. I mean, you don't really see it, but
Yeah, I know, but if you want like the
there.
blood, you watch Violent Night.
Oh yeah.
And who knows, maybe
Violent
this
Night,
time
for
next
sure.
year we'll be talking about Silent Night as well.
Who knows? I mean,
We'll
if it
see.
does well.
It does well. I'll have to check it out. I think I
RoboCop's a
might go
Christmas movie.
RoboCop.
It's the guy who plays RoboCop.
Oh God, not the remake
The
RoboCop.
remake.
I thought we all
Yes.
agreed as a collective in the universe to never talk about that movie again. And I
There's
like
only
the actor
one
too, Joel
true
Kinnaman.
RoboCop.
Oh, of course. But Joel Kinnaman, I actually like him as an actor, and I feel like he's always never had decent roles. So it'd be good to see him in like good roles.
Well, I think that was him.
I don't watch TV, Chris. I only watch movies like Violent Night in theaters when it came out. You didn't see this in
Yeah,
theaters. You watched this for the first time, right?
yeah. I just saw it on Time, and I was
What
like,
was your
what?
what was your expectations? You picked this, so why'd you want this one?
I figured it's already starting December pretty much. Might as well do a Christmas movie, but still keep it dark. And I just did not want to go with Krampus, so I was just surfing through, and I'm like, oh, Violent Night. I've been wanting to watch this, and I never got it around to it. Might as well,
Did it
you
meet
know.
your expectations or did it disappoint you?
It did not disappoint.
Did you
I'll
go
say
in
that.
thinking like pretty just like, this is probably gonna be okay?
Pretty much. Like, yeah, I didn't have big expectations. I saw the trailer. Okay, it's gonna be funny. It's gonna be have some action, and that's what I expected. And that's what I got. You
What was
know.
your favorite scene?
Hmm. My favorite scene.
Are you sad that there were no reindeer eating people? I feel like that could have elevated the movie.
Reindeer eating people.
Yes. Just like tearing up, just eating motherfuckers
Eh,
all around.
I was okay without the reindeer being there.
I will
Honestly,
say
like,
this. I was very sad that the security guard died. I feel like he didn't have to
yes,
die.
ow, ow. He didn't
Why
need
did
to
he have to
die.
die? No, that's unnecessary. He could have lived.
Yeah.
He could have been in Violent Night too. He could have become the Al to John McClane. I thought that's
Nah.
maybe what they were going with. Maybe that was why they did that, because he's like the security guard. So like the
Yeah.
low man on the totem pole, and they're like, okay, this is going to be the guy that, and it kind of ends up being the girl because they had the little walkie talkies or whatever.
Right, right.
So
But yeah, that was sad. Poor
yeah,
Al.
no, they
Mm.
shouldn't have killed him, man. He could have been the Al to the John McClane in this. He could have been the whatever his name was to Santa Claus.
I like
But
the
you know what
fact
they're going to
that
have in the sequel? They're going to have the elves as his sidekick, coming around just like doing karate and stuff like that.
see that when you say that, all I think of is Christmas Chronicles.
Oh, see, I never watched. That's the Kurt Russell one.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I know they're very popular.
The
You know what the generic storyline for the sequel would be, right? Which has actually been done in Die Hard. That whoever the villain is would be John Leguizamo's brother.
oh
You killed my
yeah.
brother.
Now you're now you're the one getting cold tonight.
Yeah, they'll do the Jeremy Irons to Alan Rickman. We don't need
Yeah,
that. We don't need that. Come up with something different for this hypothetical sequel that we're creating on the spot for Violent Night 2, Bloody
just bring
Christmas.
back the Skull Crusher.
Yeah, bring that back. Are you sad that Mrs. Claus wasn't in the movie? Or was she? Was it? No, there was no Mrs.
No,
Was he? He
it
wasn't
was
even
just a
married.
note.
Yeah,
It was
the
just a note. You
sequel.
see the flashbacks of him as a Viking, Nicomund the Red, and yeah, just a note at the end. Like, thought you would need this. Love, Mrs. C.
What'd you
But
think of the son? The one that tries to screw his mom with the money, steal
oh,
it.
the dad,
Yeah,
weak.
yeah.
That's all I can compare him to. He was weak.
The
Like I
story itself was
had a
kind of.
feeling he was the one that was stealing the money,
Mm,
you know.
yeah, the
But
story itself was kind of weak.
eh,
That was the whole motivation.
it was you know. That's why the whole Die Hard aspect of it kind of made it go forward. Yeah.
Right. I'm just reading some trivia. I guess there's a producer said that all creatives involved intend to make a sequel worth work on the project commencing in the next few weeks. I'm going to Google it. Violent Night 2. Let's see if it's a thing.
No. Oh,
Violent Night 2.
you don't need it.
Gets a promising update. This was back in August, though. So maybe. Still, it's in the works. All right. Cool.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
It'll probably be like I don't know. Would it go to theaters? I
Maybe
feel
it's a
like
direct to home video.
maybe that I mean, it would go to theaters if David Harbour's in it. If he was like, you know what, I'm not going to be in it, and
Already has
they
the
had to
big
like,
name.
yeah, but if they recast it, then it'd probably be like, it'd be
Yeah.
the
Direct to streaming.
Jingle All the Way, and then I think they did Jingle All the Way 2 with like Larry the Cable Guy, or I think I'm
Oh
confusing that.
yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of the Tooth Fairy. It's with The Rock. He was in that movie, The Tooth Fairy. I think they made
I
a
remember
sequel, and it
that
was
one.
Larry the Cable Guy, and I'm pretty sure it was straight to DVD trash. But yeah, that'd be the situation for this for the sequel.
Yeah, there's some sequels that like you've never heard of, like you wouldn't have thought that there was one, like Kindergarten Cop 2.
Yeah. So, Chris, where do you rank Violent Night overall, and as far as your favorite Christmas movies? We have Die Hard, and then there's what? Is that really your
Uh,
favorite Christmas movie?
I wouldn't say this is one of my favorite Christmas movie now.
No. I meant Die Hard. Like, was I
Die
assuming that
Hard,
was
Die Hard is definitely up there for
okay?
sure. But I still have a soft spot for Santa Claus with Tim Allen.
Okay.
That I could always watch that during Christmas. That's like my go-to one for Santa Claus.
You know what I wish this movie would have done just to fuck with people at home? I wish they would have also just called this The Santa Claus so that like families would get together, watch the movie. 20 minutes
I
in,
didn't
there's like
figure
people
out.
dying, dropping F-bombs, and the mom looks to the dad and says, I don't think this is the right movie. That's actually it wouldn't even be it'd be the grandparents. Like the kids are sleeping over at the grandparents. They're like, let's watch the Santa Claus. And they all sit around And the grandma's like, "Oh, that Tim Allen, he still looks good after 30 years, you know?" And then, like, yeah, half an hour into the movie, grandma's like, "I don't think this was the right movie." And then,
And the kid's
yeah,
like, oh,
right.
I'm
And then
sad.
they're like, "All right, no, let's turn it off." And the kids go into their room at night and they just get on their phone and watch the movie because that's what you can do nowadays. Remember, like when we were kids and that would happen, you'd have to like go in your room and like try to like finagle with the TV if you had a TV in your room, and if not, you had to like sneak out into the living room and like
In the
peek
living room.
across. And
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
see now kids
Yep.
nowadays they just go on their phone and watch whatever they
Or,
want.
or like every wish that Santa Claus was looking up. I was like, video game, video game, video game, cash, video game.
Yep.
Why didn't
Yep.
everyone wish for a bat or a sword?
It's the times
All
we live
video
in, Chris.
games.
Yeah, it's the time we live in, sadly. But you know, I'm glad that that this movie's out there. I'm glad that we were entertained for a couple hours and we were able to put our lives aside and watch Hopper from Stranger Things just tear up some motherfuckers. So
Oh yeah,
I will
Patrick
give
Swayze and everything.
I will give Violent Night 3 out of 4 candy canes and call it a night
Solid,
there. Yeah.
solid rating there.
How many cups of eggnog would you give Violent Night, Chris?
Cup of eggnogs. If it was spiced, maybe like 5 out of 7.
Yeah, make sure it's spiked eggnog and drink up and have a good time. This would be a fun movie to watch with like your buddies. I could see that.
It's fun.
This
It's
is like a
fun.
crowd kind of movie, I feel like, where you can just like cheer and like a good like if I saw this at like an early screening, midnight kind of packed theater, like because I saw this and it was like nobody in the theater kind of thing. You know, just feel like you have to have the right kind of energy sometimes. You can still enjoy it, but I miss the days of just crazy packed theaters for like not superhero movies. Go see a movie, people. Get off of YouTube, turn us off, and go see a movie in theaters. Support your local theater.
And
Get
then come
off
back
the
to us.
and then come back to us. Yeah, but go see movies. Movies are struggling. I don't mean like Marvel movie. You don't have to go watch Disney movies. Don't go watch the Disney movies because
Just watch a
they
good
all suck.
action flick.
Just
Go
go watch.
to it.
There's a lot of good movies out there. Have you watched The Holdovers?
No,
That's
I
a
haven't.
great movie. That's a great movie, and it's a good holiday movie. Anyways, I'm going to ramble. We'll wrap this up, and then we'll talk more about movies in the After Hours program that you can find on our OnlyFans.
Oh
It's
God.
Crosscut Feet Pics OnlyFans.
Why? Why?
Anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching in or listening. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please do so. It helps support us.
Top print. Moving on.
In the arms of an angel. Watch my YouTube show. Please give us views.